There we go. Okay, good. It always says connecting, but just so you know, it starts recording immediately. So.
Oh, okay. Good
that we can.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Susan. Welcome, welcome. Lucy and I were just laughing that we may start late here. Late because we run on natural law time. We run on women's time, and it's not going to always be right on noon or whenever we start. So I'm going to invite everybody to roll with that. Get used to it. Because if I had my druthers, all the clocks would be gone, and we would just meet when we feel to meet.
My daughter asked me the other day, Mom, who invented time? Why do we have time? Like, it's a very good question.
It's a very good question. It's very suspect. I think it was supposedly it was the Romans with the sundials, and the word Roman. I was like, oh, this is the roaming man. This is the off-planet masculine that came and ruined everything. That's my working theory.
It works. It makes sense, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. It was the feeling of it is like, this is artificial. This is wrong. So
yeah.
Welcome Sharon. Welcome Deanna. Hi Wildfire Rose. Hi Baspi. Hi Karen. So for those who didn't catch Lucy's first time in this chat, I don't remember what chapter that was, but oh my God, so amazing. And there's a lot occurred since then. So I asked Lucy to catch us up on how things have gone since our last discussion, the triggers that happened recently, and then where you've gone from there. And then we'll see where it takes us. We have no plan whatsoever.
Okay. All right. Yes. We're just winging it.
We're winging it, which would be how life is.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a lot of different things, but it's also interconnected.
Yes.
I feel like we've talked about this, the root of all of it is just like connection, right? And that need for connection, and how that starts with connecting with ourselves and those parts of ourselves that are screaming out for our attention. Like you've so beautifully articulated in the past, like there's this little part of us that's crying, and to go to that part. So that just sort of kind of plays into everything, I feel like. But I know in our last discussion, we had really touched on the difficulty in this time, and sort of like having a partner who doesn't see the fire the way I see the fire and isn't concerned about the fire. And so like, how do we create this life together where we both have such different views about what's going on, and sort of letting go of the idea that it must be together, because maybe the idea is that it's not meant to be together. Because to try and fit into that would be denying my own truth and what my body is telling me about, what feels right. And so I think I took a lot away from that in terms of finding my voice, and like you were like, you don't even have to be kind. I think I had something on my shirt that kindness. You're like, you don't even have to be kind, to just say, this is how this makes me feel. This isn't right. This is my truth. And to just kind of let yourself be guided into your truth. And so I've really been,
takes you. You don't know. You don't know if it'll take you in a split partnership. You don't know. But if we lean into it, we'll find out. And life will always bring us and everyone into fulfillment. That's the way it's going to go. So, yeah. Great.
So I have this knowing that I'll know when, when the time is right, or what. And I'm sort of just in this like one day at a time, and watching the opportunities that present themselves to me, and sort of the pulls I get to do different things, and following those, and just kind of trying to, see where things take me. And it's been such a relief. Such a relief, because I'm not like fighting things or trying to make it's just like that letting go, like just
Yeah.
letting go of control and listening to how something feels in my body
Yes.
when I think about a certain decision, you know? And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what brings me into the whole surgery thing with my daughter. So very little backstory, hopefully. She's 7 and has had sleep apnea for several years now. She was first diagnosed at, like, I want to say age 4. It's all maybe 3.5, was when I first started noticing it. But um, a little, so I'm a pediatric nurse, right? And so as a nurse, at some point, I became very aware of the system, also as in my career, and not just as a woman in the world, but like the healthcare system. And I started sort of pulling away from it and wanting to do things more naturally. And it is, I mean, these things are deep. These ideas run very deep. And especially when you've been through a nursing program and sort of really just given those messages about, this is how you treat symptom fix. I kind of talked about that. Um, so when she was first diagnosed, it was like right around the time that I was also seeing that, oh, I don't necessarily want this path for myself or my child anymore.
Right.
And so there was a lot of reservation about me with me having the surgery because it just felt like part of the system. Like it was fear. I mean, I was terrified
Mhm.
that they weren't looking at her as a human being. It was a number. They were going to make money off this surgery. I mean, I had all these things coming in that it was like, and then I would see doctors it would just reconfirm all that for me because they would look through me and not even acknowledge her. And it was just like, clearly, nobody really cares about what could be deeper here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very much about the roots of issues and finding how to address the roots and not just fixing what's on top.
Yep.
So that's put me on a 3-year journey of a little frantically, I will admit, trying to solve this problem she had. Her tonsils were big, her adenoids were big, she was sick a lot.
Mm.
And I was determined to find some natural cause.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of I hesitate to call them failures, but they were. I mean, and you fail and then you try something different and you learn from that. So
Yeah.
a lot of failed attempts to figure out what was going on um, and really try. I mean, I tried so many different herbal remedies, natural paths, all these things. And so 3.5 years later, here we are, and it's worse, And as a mom listening to your child gasp and have struggle to breathe while they're sleeping is like terrifying.
Yeah.
um so it's the whole experience in and of itself has been traumatizing, let alone
Mhm.
feeling I felt responsible for it, that she was sick. I had come up with all these reasons why she had it, and most of them were my fault.
Mm.
And I also then felt responsible for fixing it, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so I couldn't, and then I couldn't,
Right. Right. Right.
and I couldn't help her.
Right.
And so I kind of finally had this breakdown, this moment of she's suffering while I'm, trying to grasp and search and research and the countless hours I can't even tell you.
Right. Every rabbit hole, everything, I imagine. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, every disease. She's in my mind, she has had everything from like the most rare form of cancer to some blood disorder, like
Right.
so. And then I finally come to this decision because I just can't hear her. I see her struggle every day. I mean, the course, she's only 7. She doesn't even know what it feels like to be rested. You know, she's had headaches every day. She feels tired all the time. So then so I finally come to this decision. Okay, we're going to do the surgery. And then I see Miriam and she's talking about being natural and all these things. I mean, she has such amazing information. And honestly, maybe I wish I would have seen her 3 years ago, but it was like this moment. I mean, I freaked out watching this live. I was like trying to message. I mean, the panic in my body was so visceral.
Because at that point you had scheduled her surgery.
No, it was scheduled. It was
scheduled.
scheduled. And it was like, we are on this path. She knows about it. She's preparing herself for it. And then I see that. And all I had to hear was like, we don't need to be cutting things out of people's bodies. And it was like,
sucker punch. Oof.
Oh my goodness. I'm a terrible mom. What am I doing to her? I'm going to traumatize her. There has to be a natural way, because what did they do before this? And I mean, I just went on. And so, like, I think what I realized, because I was able to kind of, obviously calm myself down. I don't even know how to put this, but it was like, it wasn't even the thought of the surgery that I think sent me into the panic. It was the thought of going back into trying to solve this problem naturally. I was so relieved when I finally came to the decision of scheduling the surgery.
Yes.
It's like, that was my letting go of trying to make this look the way I needed it to look. No, I need this to be natural. It has to be natural. There has to be another cause, to like this. I don't know, but I can't tell you how many people I talked to in the last 3 years that all said, I mean, people at tea shops, these, where I'm trying to find the right tea that's going to shrink her tonsils and adenoids, that this woman was like, she was also, she was also a nurse.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She was also, a nurse and a naturopath, and was like, my daughter had her tonsils and adenoids out and it changed her life. And like, so I had heard so many success stories over the years, but I pushed those things away as like, no, I am not putting her through that because I need to be right about it. It was like this need to be right more than need to help her feel better.
Yes. That's a huge realization. Yeah.
And so I finally let go of that and was like, this is clearly what is coming to me as what is going to help her right now.
Yeah.
So I think what I realized between that panic moment watching your live and like coming back to was, okay, I can trust my body. If I'm trying to do something and I'm meeting all of this internal resistance and this anxiety and panic and all of this, that I can let go of that and just sort of allow space for other possibilities, I guess, in a sense.
Beautiful.
And like that letting go of what I needed something to be. And like, so if I feel relieved in this space of surgery right now, then that's what I can move into. That might not have been true 3.5 years ago when I first started this, but that's not where I was then. Right?
Exactly. Yes. And we usually find many no's before we find the yes. Because that's how we've been so conditioned to be, right? To be paddling upstream, working against our nature anyway. So, and in order to fully grok the yes that's in our bodies, it's so helpful to have exhausted every single other option.
Yeah.
And then you can hear it, right? The contrast is so clear. It's like
Yeah.
all of this feels like shit. It just feels like trying. It feels like effort. It feels like paddling upstream. And this feels like Boss V just put up this beautiful post today. It's like falling through the floor, like a total free fall, because
Yes.
that's actually how life in her essence feels. It's like a free fall because it is a free fall. We're just falling through this
Yeah.
life, and energy is moving through us, and it is an absolute downstream toward fulfillment always movement, and we're not used to it. But once you've exhausted every other thing, right, you're paddling upstream so much that your muscles just have to go like this. You can
Hmm.
hear it, and now that's the path, and then boom, it like shoots you like a river into the ocean of peace. It's just,
Yes.
that's it. So,
Because
and
it
it
is
is,
it's
it's
like,
100% through the body, and it has to be your body because you're the mother. And
yes,
and your body is wired with Gaia herself, and she will not betray you or your daughter.
yes. Yes. And that is where I like came to after I think I had mentioned in my message to you, it was like this. I cried, like there was so much grief there that I was holding on to and and also resisting,
Mhm.
that it was just like once I let myself just grieve what it meant to not have been able to fix her, not have been able to find the magical answer that I just wanted to heal her with love and flowers, and that was like, and it's so
Right, right.
beautiful.
Yes,
And,
yes.
there's lots of things that I can do with love and flowers, but I could not change her tonsils and adenoids, um, and just like grieving that and grieving. I mean, beneath the fear was grief, beneath the anger was grief, all of it. And I
Yes.
just, as I let myself grieve and went to that part of myself, it was the most, like, it just felt good. It felt good to grieve.
100%. This is that miraculous thing of like call it, the pleasure in meeting pain, finally. Because the resistance is where the suffering is. It's not in the
Yeah.
grief, it's not in the heartbreak, it's not in whatever it is. It dissolves. It's like it's not even pain. What is it? It's
Yeah.
this opening. It's just the opening and the relief. It's the free fall. It's that
Yeah.
part that wasn't in free fall, that was still enslaved, that was still trying to be a good girl, that was still trying to help your father, because this is the same theme, right?
Yes.
When he was
Yes.
sick, right? I'm gonna prove myself, and I'm gonna fix this, and I'm going to, that separate self off to save the world,
Yep.
and the body is left behind. She's suffering, she's depleted, she's exhausted, she's stressed, um, and she would very much like her heartbreak to be felt, and to fall back into free fall and to fun and ease and the decisions that life, Gaia, body, made already for you.
Yes.
Right? It's like that whole, like, thy will has already been done. There was already a yes. We just hadn't caught it. We hadn't felt it. So exactly, right under your grief, right under your fear, that pain you've been avoiding is is the body's answer.
Yes. And it's like it's almost like because it's tied, I think tied so closely to love, maybe, is that's
Mhm.
why it feels so good to
Yes, it's pure love.
experience it.
Yes,
It's because
yes.
it is pure, oh my gosh. And
It's you loving you, right? And then just the flow of love just comes out, and then it's just this love, all this release, all this connection, like you started with, right? And then it's just love for your daughters, is love for everything else, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it's
Love is that the things that they were never separate, but it's that play of like that hadn't been met yet, and then I met it, and it's like, oh, we fall
Mhm.
in love. And it's this
Yes,
free fall feeling. Yes.
yes. And
Yeah.
just this, yes, this relaxation, like just the whole body
Yes.
feels it. And like, oh, I can't even just, it's indescribable.
It's
And
indescribable, but it's great to keep trying, because then each word you say, right, we can hear it with you, and we can feel it with you. And I love all the different, everybody has different words and different angles on this thing, on the feeling of our being, our true being, which is this wild, untamed, alive, loving, juicy, as Miriam said yesterday, right? Flowing flood of bliss, ecstasy. I mean, we get there.
Yes, it's
Yes.
all there. And we spend, well, and I think we've been taught, it, I don't, intentionally at some point, right, to disconnect from that.
Yeah.
And our brains seek instant pleasure and believe that it is necessary to avoid that pain. And so
Yeah.
we spend so much time trying to comfort the brain.
Yes. Yes. The cheap substitute for
Yeah.
actually loving ourselves,
Yes.
actually being ourselves. Yes.
Instead
Yeah.
of just going within.
Yeah.
And wow, yeah, it was, and you mentioned my dad too, and that was a lot of what I think steered me away the first time when it was like she needed surgery, and then my dad was very sick, and I read all it took was one headline of somebody dying on the table of a routine tonsil and adenoidectomy that I was like, "Nope, not
Mhm.
gonna happen." And I spent the next 3 years in a state of fear and panic
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to avoid
Yes.
the surgery, and so
Right.
and it did lead me into, and not to get, like, switch gears too much on medical conversation versus, but it allowed me to sort of look into some ancient surgeries, and,
Yes.
like, surgical tools throughout history, and, like, ancient Egyptians would remove, tumors, and, they actually did tonsillectomies in ancient Egypt
Wow.
with,
Amazing.
like, you know,
Yeah.
really old tools and, like, rocks and stuff. Like, I can't imagine how painful that was, but,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, um, so it helped me in that sense too, because it just gave me some comfort that this is, because it is scary. I don't wanna make,
Sure.
the wrong choice is the word, and maybe I still
That
have some of that.
that's the right. I'm gonna get it wrong, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm that is death, right? In the family you grew up
Yep.
with. Yeah. Yeah. You're bad. You got it wrong. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. I'm a
And
bad
everything's
kid.
my fault.
Everything's
Yes,
my fault. There you go.
everything's my
Everything's
fault.
yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that we carry that as a culture, just the shame that
And
comes
women especially,
from,
right? Everything's
yeah.
the woman's fault,
Mhm.
Like,
We're
we
we're
blame
Eve,
single
right?
moms, but we don't
Original
talk about
sin.
the fact that, like, the man abandoned, the woman, or right, like, you name it, the woman always gets to blame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Isn't that just fun?
Yeah.
I was even having a conversation with my mom recently, and I can't remember, I won't get into specifics, but it was like, I told her something that happened, and she was like, "Yeah, but did you do something to
Right.
make them act that way?"
Right. Right, exactly, yeah. Did you wear the low cut top?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and she didn't even realize she was doing it because I called her on it. I
Yeah.
said, "Here's how you, this is why I've thought everything was my fault my whole life. I love
Yeah.
you, and this is
Yeah.
also why you have thought everything was your fault your whole life.
Precisely, just down
I
the
will be
line,
flexible."
exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful to not to just say no to that, like, I'm not taking that. I like
Yeah.
to say that it's like, everybody has to take 100% responsibility for themselves, 0% blame. We just don't do blame. Blame is about deflecting responsibility. And just
Interesting. Yeah.
historically, it's been, the men blaming women, right? And that lets them off the hook. So we have to stop letting people off the hook.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
yes, we blame ourselves
Yes.
for
It's like,
things
you
that
take
they do.
responsibility for you, I'll take responsibility for me,
And
and
that,
that's
yep.
it.
Yeah.
And then we don't blame isn't a thing we do. We just take 100% responsibility. Yes.
Yeah.
And which is what you've done. Miriam, by the way, just said, she said, "I'm so sorry I made you break down." You did not.
No.
This
Yeah,
is
you're blaming yourself, Miriam.
exactly, exactly. There you go. There's the pattern right there.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I'm like, "Oh, should I not have, whatever." It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit because
No.
look what
Yes.
life did. Look what life did. She coordinated this unfathomable lesson for all of us.
Mhm.
Right? Which is like, this is gold. This is also what gold that you were scheduled to come on after Miriam yesterday, where she's, saying, but Miriam was very clear in saying, take what resonates, leave the rest. And
Yeah.
that's the bottom line, and what resonates in your body. right?
Yeah.
So you've done that. You've done that. And this is just perfectly coordinated. None of us could have coordinated this. That
Yep.
like it's just divine. So we're finding out the wisdom, right? The level of intelligence in your body. It's one big brain. It's collected all the nursing experience, all everything. It's collected everything, and just generations. It's a font of wisdom, especially a woman's body. So when you tap into that, like we've talked about, right? It sounds like I don't know. This is the answer, right? It's not about getting it right or wrong. It's just what's true. It's an embodied truth.
Mhm.
So we have the ideas about that with food, right? This is bad food. It's like there's no such thing. There's only what's true. Now, sure, of course, most junk food you could say is not, it's it's trash. But like I had when I stopped talking with my father a few months ago, or several months ago now, that day I was like, I need a greasy burger with fries and an orange soda, because it was like what I used to eat with him. And that was like, and I felt fantastic because there was some
What you
code
needed.
in there. It was
Yeah.
just like, this is what my body wanted. She wanted some reparative food from her childhood, you know? I mean, there was barely any nutritional content in that meal, but it was
Yeah.
perfect
Mhm.
because it was just what's true in a moment. So everything Miriam offers,
That.
anything anybody offers, any healthcare provider, here's the offering. It's We're listening from the whole body. We're listening from the bones. We're listening from the liver. We're listening from the heart now open. And she will always choose the best thing, and
Yeah.
it'll be generally mysterious, unknown. How you can't the left brain cannot track all of the wisdom that's in your blood that says this is the truth, this is the way.
Yeah. And it's so I and maybe this can be something you help me understand. Well, and I guess this is kind of what I am coming to understand, but for so long, it was hard for me to determine between intuition and fear
Yeah, yeah,
because I don't know how to put this either. It would be like, am I okay? I'll give you an example. Well, even with like the surgery, it was like, am I am I afraid for her to have surgery, or am I being guided towards something else?
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yep,
What ended up being true, because I would hear this voice, she's going to need the surgery, which I could go even deeper and say that that's my own limiting belief,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe.
Yep, keep going. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to
But
say really quickly, Miriam says, not blaming myself, just sorry she had that reaction.
oh, yes.
Beautiful. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
And also,
Thank
like,
you.
the beauty of just saying sorry. Like, it's just, we're all
Yeah.
sorry, right? It's like, I'm so sorry that you went through that. There's
Yes.
something beautifully healing in that. So
Yes. And
thank you,
Miriam
Miriam.
and I have talked off stage. I was going to say off stage. I
It
don't
feels
know why.
weird. Stage.
Off screen, on whatever. Um,
Yeah.
we did talk, and we came to a beautiful understanding of kind of where we were both at and why we both have, because we all have a story that brought us to where we are and the beliefs that we are passionate about, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um,
Although, but you were about to tap onto like I want you to just keep going about the process, because what we're actually talking about is pre-belief.
okay.
We're talking about what's visceral in the body, the inner knowing. It isn't about belief. There's nothing. The intelligence of your body, that wisdom from all those years, belief is not required. It's actually
Okay.
not. When you were like, no, it's the surgery. That's the truth. That wasn't a belief. It wasn't a. You didn't refer to any beliefs.
Interesting. That was
It's
just my
such
body.
a relief to let go of belief. Yeah, it's just your body. Yeah.
Interesting. Because I know, oh, I love that. I would love to know how you think that our limiting beliefs tie. into decisions then, because maybe that's where. So when I did my conscious parenting course, we did a lot in breaking generational cycles of trauma and shame. A lot of that has to do with identifying our core beliefs about ourselves in the world that are limiting us, that are limiting our abilities to show up, to love, to anything. And then a whole like a thing for releasing them and creating a new expansive belief that um and so I guess I wonder how the body, because I just always have this thought that like our minds, right, connect, are communicating with our bodies, which is communicating with our soul, which is communicating with the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's all these different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And how does, where does our, where do our beliefs about the world come into play, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It's great. It's perfect. Yeah, it makes total sense, and it's so essential, and it's a hallmark of the Western world, which really believes it's mind first, and that we are our minds, we are our beliefs, we are our story, and so it's like finding a we all there's such a habit of finding a philosophy to live for, or a belief, an affirmation, faith, anything along those lines that's like a picture of what's good, you know, and it's all trash.
I love it.
Sorry to burst everybody's bubble,
Uh,
but the mind is still incredibly useful, and the experience and the insights and the thoughts and the mental pictures that come in to serve are endless and incredible. And all your great ideas are coming from this one mind. Your great ideas are not beliefs, they're just like true. It's like you have an idea for your kids today, and that came through, and it was just like, it was just true. It was like, we're going to go to the park and do this thing today, or your board game. Lucy has this amazing, Lucy's going to be like our our one of our educators, like really building schooling from scratch, and she had all these brilliant ideas come through. So that wasn't because you have a belief that you are a certain kind of, you don't have a belief in like childhood education that you then are trying to apply. Rather,
sure.
you're here, here's this pure awareness, your endless, timeless oneness that is everybody. And she, he, it, that consciousness is now more embodied, and your body is following the flow of life via Gaia. So you know how that graph I showed with the energy body, right? The flow is through the body and then up from Gaia, up and out, right? That torus field. And so the body is like, I don't know, she goes and eats this meal, and it's this perfect meal, and then the fat content is just enough to get the myelin sheaths, Miriam was talking about, going, so that the brain is open, its antenna is more open, and the idea for this board game just comes through. Meaning the body goes first, the mind follows.
Uh-huh.
And it's not belief that trails behind, it's the insight, inward sight, for what the body wants. And the body is just this big desirous organic material that just wants more things, and wants to explore with her kids and play and play and play. And
Yes.
you like give her one thing, and now you're in the river, and then this idea comes through, and ideas come through, and ideas come through. I'm finding that all the time. I started the Natural Healing Radio Hour in part because I was like, I need a place to just put all these ideas, because I can't keep like making videos and writing. It's too slow. And it was too, because it was like, I was
Yes,
too
I
busy.
have. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I have that
I was
too
like, video
sometimes.
is the thing. I'm like, fuck writing. I'm bless writers. Very cool. But it's so slow. It's like, we're going to transcribe versus the oral tradition, which now we have video. It's just very direct, right? Like, let me just tell you everything,
Yes, I can get
right? And
all
then
of this
somebody else
out
can
right
chop it up
now.
and write it
Yes.
down and whatever.
And
But
I can sort of jump around and,
you jump around. Yes,
I
yes.
don't have
Goes
to
back to the
have a
masculine.
Oh
Yes.
gosh, I'll get so perfectionist with my writing and be like, "Oh, it has to sound a certain way." Oh,
Me
yes.
too. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, when I know I'm like, let's, somebody else can write. If you like writing, great, transcribe it, do it. But it's too slow and too linear. It's too masculine.
Yeah.
It's too left brain. Yeah, and it's like we don't have to box ourselves anymore. We just have this. We just have this. And so your body, you're in the flow. You're in your body, and and thought, and then so like Gaia, and let's, I like sometimes think of it as like Gaia and Indra, right? The masculine, the feminine. Gaia, the body, and Indra, the mind, the body mind, right? But body first, feminine
Mm,
first. Gaia first, and then Indra,
interesting.
the one mind, comes in. It goes, oh, here's a portal. Here's a feminine portal for ideas about board games and schooling. Funnel that shit
Yeah.
through her.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what happened earlier in the day. I took my daughter to this park. Did I? I don't know if I told you this already. Maybe I
Oh, you
told my
did.
sister. I took my daughter to this park that we've just always loved to go to. It's very nature. There's a lot of gardens around and a lot of grass. And we went there, and it had been the first time since before winter. We hadn't been back there, and it was like all paved. They had put up all these new metal structures. It was, like the not even grass anymore, not even wood chips anymore, like the rubber mat.
Mm, mm.
And not only that, so my daughter's running around and I'm like kind of watching for her, and there's people everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this place does not feel good. First of all, I decide I'm going to go over by the picnic tables where there's like some grass still. And they had this thing completely fenced off
Oh my
to
God.
to even get out to the grass. My body was like, I had a complete panic attack. I couldn't get out. Like I couldn't even get to the grass. And
Mm.
it's so unlike me, told my daughter, like, we are leaving now.
Yeah.
We're leaving right now. And she
Yeah.
was just, and I got out to the grass and I just like put both my hands on the ground and started sobbing. It was like this such an emotional experience of they're trying to take me away from you. You
Yes.
know?
Oh, I totally know that. Absolutely. 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 I mean, they are.
They were
That
trying to
is
rip me away
what,
from the earth.
yes, that's what this is. This is I just made a video this morning about like, hey, PS, it's a worldwide mafia that is colonized, or right, and it's like the idea that there was ever democracy in the United States. It was just an illusion. It was
Yeah.
none of it was real. It's worldwide, and it is the enslavement of the feminine. And it
Yes.
is literally enslavement of the women and then of the earth, and it's fencing her off and disconnecting us, and then of course disconnecting the men too from their own
Yeah.
bodies, from nature, right, from the feminine and from our source, which is pure awareness. All of it meant to disconnect, right, to go through a middleman, whether it's a spiritual teacher or a fucking fence or whatever it is, right, or concrete, right.
Yeah.
It's literal and figurative ways to disconnect us from our body, from Gaia, from our source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
the rage and oh my God, just I use this word a lot lately, but the visceral I mean, it was like
So
everything,
much rage. There's so much
my
rage in us.
so
Yeah.
much fucking rage. It was
Righteous
like,
fucking rage.
oh,
Yes. Yes.
I,
That's Kali. That's burn this motherfucker down. Fuck you all. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it is
Yes. She's got to
happening.
burn. Yes.
Oh my,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
That's cool. Go out into her and just let her hear your rage. It's great. It's fine. It's good.
yes,
Yeah.
it's so
Yes.
good. And it's
I'm done.
so,
I'm like I'm out there just pound motherfuckers. I fucking hate all of you, just like that,
yeah,
and just letting that, all the right, thousands of unsaid no's,
yeah,
thousands of, right, thousands and thousands of them our whole lives.
yes, so
Yes.
many. Oh my gosh. Oh, so I have to talk about what's coming up for me now that we're having this
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
because this is what happens is I start to let that part of me out, the no part, and then her surgery comes back in. And it's like,
Okay.
I have been so.
Well, let's check. So what do you mean that it's like, is it still like a question about the surgery?
I mean, always there's this little yes, because it feels like what they want me to do,
I see. I
you
see.
know?
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yes. 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 Okay. Good. So that's a great difference between. I mean, we need to check, but like the difference between a story about what it is versus your visceral
My body, my
body,
body.
what your body says about the surgery, right? Because we're not letting go of all Western, well, we can call it masculine medicine or anything, like not at all. Of course, everything's on the table, right? In the same way that I'm not letting go of junk food, it's on the table. Everything's on the table, and then we're just, what's the actual truth from the body,
Okay.
right?
Oh God, love that. Yes. Okay.
Everything's on, everything will always be on the table, the whole range, right? So, and that of course is going to include all surgery, everything else. So, and this is what I mean by it's pre-belief. There's no belief. We don't have to require. It's not. It's preconditioning. So, no matter how much you've been taught about anything, it doesn't matter. Here's. So, this is your question was about decisions, right? And decisions, like think of it as like the body already made them, made the decision, right? It makes the decision to, I don't know, where the water is going to be distributed in my body, right? And that's really Gaia slash the body having made that decision. So you're just you pure awareness are really close in with your body, right? And you're hearing what decision was already made. It's not a separate self, which is the mind coming in to make a decision. Remember, the mind's in the caboose,
Yeah.
and you're just going to feel. And I say surgery, and you're going to feel it, right? And then and I don't know what any other options that you want. You're just going to feel it, and then the body will have made the decisions, and then it'll move into language, or it'll move into a conversation or whatever after the fact.
Okay.
Okay, belief, conditioning, deconditioning, none of it's required. You're just going to dive underneath all of that and see what the feeling is, see what the yes is, and you already
Okay.
have the feeling. It feels like that falling through the floor.
Yes.
Or it
Oh,
feels like gripping around, which you're gripping around the wound, right? And I'm going to try to control. Now we've got a hallucinated separate self who's going to go do something and be good enough and not make it her fault, right?
mm,
At this
God.
point in the game for you, those are really distinct. And that's all you
Yes.
need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so helpful. Because yes, because I think what just came in right now was the wound, right?
Yes. That's it.
Of like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, nope, we're not
Nope.
going to do that because that's what they want and they
They
repress
conditioned,
us
they did,
for.
right? It's like, who's the they? There's no they,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Which, I mean, there is, but it's like, it's not here now.
right,
And that's
right.
our freedom is in, I, you know, not conditioning, deconditioning, none of it, because it's not here right now. We have domain. We are sovereign beings, and we get to find out what's true in our body right now.
Okay. Oh my God, this is like, I have been praying for this. I'm not kidding. I mean, that's what I do. I pray and she speaks to me. Then she
Right?
sends me messages through the universe and in so many ways. And like, it's amazing to me sometimes how
It is
much
amazing.
prayers are answered. I really do believe it's a speaking to your own soul,
You're just
really.
speaking to yourself. Exactly. Exactly. You're speaking to the larger version of yourself, and then she answers in the coolest ways
I know. Oh my God.
with really cool people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Good.
Yes.
So you can see, right? The decision, it's already here. It's already been made. You didn't have to do it because there's not a you that even did it. Right? We wouldn't say that about animals, right? It's not like the birds stop and consult. Where are we going? Where are we flying? You know what I mean? And I really is that, were we conditioned to go to Florida? I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
not
You know,
sure. Yeah.
no,
I
the
think they're trying to get us.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's Florida this year. I think it's, yeah. But it's Gaia through their body going, here's your magnetic field.
Yeah. Oh, and that I'm trying to remember, if I had not been on the phone with all these offices before our call, but yes, it's sort of okay, so, like, as I was to, like, jump back to when I finally sat with that grief, and, like, I had this vision in my mind of, like, chains of people sort of, like, stuck in struggle and, like, generationally passing down this pain and suffering,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know why they were orange, but they were, and it was, like, just, like, this, field, like, electromagnetic field, like, they weren't actual people, but just, like, colors, and, like,
Mm.
and then there was, like, this when I broke those chains and, like, was with myself and grieving and holding myself, or really even being held by something, it was like a new I was in a new field, and like,
Yes.
a not necessarily, like, I hate to use the term above or below because I really think hierarchy is, you know, the cause of a lot of this, but, like, just sort of that sense of not being chained down by
Yes.
it.
Yes. 100%. That's what people mean by ascension. It's not about, I think of it like, it's just a different realm. You're sort of in a different frequency, in a different realm.
Mhm.
And it's not better or worse. It's just further up the scale, let's say. But it's not, you wouldn't say, high C is better than middle C. But
Yeah,
there's a different, it's a different experience. And it
yes,
doesn't have that weighted feeling. It doesn't have that enslavement feeling, right? Because you're
yeah,
outside the spell, you're outside the code. You're healing through it. And so the
yeah,
frequency raises. Think of it like, you think of all the species that live on a tree, right? You got birds and you've got squirrels and you got, insects and you've got worms. And so it's just we're at like bird level. And it
yeah,
feels a lot lighter. It feels a
yeah,
lot lighter. Now, all are beautiful, all are goddess, all are it's all good. But we are breaking these chains that hold us down. That is
yes,
the matrix, the code, the spell, the conditioning, the fear, the separation
fear,
story, right?
fear, yeah,
That just kind of like pushes on our energy. And so each belief you heal, each time you come into the body and open it up, it's like, I think of it like a hot air balloon. So mine is like, I felt it like that, like, the strings on a hot air balloon just start to
yes.
pop up, and then it's like you're just floating.
Oh, I
And
love that,
yeah.
yeah,
And those are the cords. That's the cord of energy that you untied through your heart, that is in your family line, that's in your conditioning line, right? Thousands of years of
yes,
this line, and you untied it. In spiritual language, they would say you broke a generational curse. But we
yeah,
don't. We could use whatever language we want. It's the limiting belief is gone. The pain is healed in your body. These are just different words for an energetic release.
yes, because that's
Yes.
all it is. It's just like once you allow it to move, it's
Yes.
just, "Oh, this is just energy,
It's
and
just
why was
energy.
I so afraid of it?"
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. That's the condition. It's like, I know we're so afraid of our pain, and it's like, it's just energy. It's just light. It's
And that's
just
yes, it's just and that's where I think my passion for, for children comes in, because it's just like it's almost like we're screaming at something that cannot hear us to
that's right.
change.
They
That's
cannot. Yes.
so
No,
I'm
it's
like, "Oh, I'm gonna go this way and teach these people a
yes.
totally different give them just a completely different blueprint." Because that's all we were given was just some
Yes.
idea from
Yes.
somebody. Let's give
Yes.
them a really cool idea.
Yes, and cool
You know?
experience. Like they just get to be outside and play with nature and be free range children. Let's
Yes,
yes,
let's
yes,
teach them that because
yes. Which is like
it's up
teach.
to us
It's like what are we
anyway.
even teaching? You're really
We're
just
right.
escorting them.
It's just allowing. It's really just
Yes,
allow. And it's allowing ourselves to live that way that will then
Yes.
model for them.
Exactly. You're just going to model freedom.
Yes.
You're going to model freedom and fulfillment. That's parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just escort
Yes.
them to their freedom and fulfillment, which might
And
be a bit different than yours.
connection with the earth.
Yes.
You can do all these things yourself. You can grow your own food. You can make your own clothes. You don't actually need any of that. And in caring for the earth. I should show you a picture really quick that I
Yeah,
found.
please.
So I had this random old book in my aunt's house after she passed away. This picture fell out many years ago. I've Googled it to see what it is, but it is some religious woman and a child, and she's giving her flowers. And it just was always spoke to me
Sweet. I love it. It's
as
Madonna
like
and child. Yes.
this,
Yes.
this
It's
like,
beautiful. The
this is
halo is
what
the
I'm here to
open, it's
do.
the open crown chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's all of our potential.
Yes, women
You
and
are the
children.
Madonna, darling. You are the
Share
Madonna
the
and you have
world.
the,
Yeah.
yes. And this is what we were talking about. We're talking about Christ consciousness awakening in the feminine.
Oh my God. I am so glad you said that. Revelation. Oh my God. Yes. That I had heard something recently about the Christian nationalists and how they believe in the second coming, right? And that they have to do these certain things for the second coming of Christ. And I'm like, you know what? They're right. The things they are doing are going to bring about the second coming of Christ. And it's going to be in the form of the collective feminine rising as the true Christ consciousness of compassion. That's it. I figured it out.
Tell it.
That is it. Yep.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what's happening. That's it.
They're gonna,
Summed it up.
yeah,
Yes.
they're gonna get,
Yes.
they're going to get it, and it's
Yes.
just not be what they think it's gonna be.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Miriam says Mary Magdalene, the feminine Christ. Yes.
yes.
And Oshun, the feminine Christ, and Kali, the feminine Christ. And, like all of the feminine on Friday, I'm going to talk about just the goddess. I'm going to talk about how we had Madonna and the whore, right? Split. Those are the two choices for women. And I made this video. I made a lip sync video, but I won't show it. It's
Oh,
it's a little too sexy. It's so funny. It's so funny what came out of me.
I
But
love it.
there's this great album that came out. It's like this musical that hasn't been made in the 3D yet, called the Epic Saga, and it's the story of Odysseus. And I'm calling bullshit on the hero's journey. I'm fucking over the fucking hero's journey, this masculine story. And in the hero's journey and in the Odyssey, right? I'm like, fuck the Odyssey by Homer. Fuck the Odyssey. Because you've got Penelope who's pining away while he's gone and cheating on her and making war and being an absolute fool and following what the gods want him to do and not at home with the woman, which is what every man wants.
Yeah, right.
Of course they do. Like, guys, admit it. You want to be with women. We're the best.
Yes.
Stop pretending you don't like us.
That's
Stop
true.
hanging out with your bros. The male loneliness epidemic is because you won't admit
Yeah, right.
that we are, we're the shit. So anyway, but Calypso is the goddess on her island that seduces him, sort of, but she just falls in love with him. And then Penelope's at home. So Penelope's the Madonna figure who is loyal and strong and fends off all the other men who come after her. And meanwhile, it's like, if there's men are wanting to be with her, maybe if the dude was home, they should help her out a little bit. And Calypso is always seen as the seductress and ashamed for it. And I'm like putting them together because this is we deny. It's like, unless the woman is pure, unless she is without desire, unless she is sacrificing, unless she's just like the fucking Madonna. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like, that's no. The full picture of womanhood is ravenous and bestial
Yes.
and passionate and juicy and fucking a font of wisdom. And
It's
we need
all,
to
yeah.
go with these colonizer views of what the sacred feminine is.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. I would love to get in because months ago, before the election, and when I first started the Substack, my whole idea was to like go back into religious texts and like talk about Sophia and talk about the true Adam and Eve and all of the ways in which the feminine has been erased throughout history, and witch burning and all of these things. And so I can't
Okay.
wait
I
to
can't wait for
hear.
your lessons. Oh yeah. Well,
Yes.
this is, yeah, it's gonna be wrapped in this story of my we agreed I can call him my son. He's this kid I have. But we were like, it's like I'm your son, or you're my son. So I was talking with my son. And he met a goddess. This young he's mid-20s and she's in her 20s, but he plugged into her energy. He just like worships women.
I love it.
And anyway, I'll share more on Friday, but the point being, he literally just plugged into her energy. Like she sent him like a little kiss emoji. She's into him, but she's into a lot of men. She can hold a lot of it. It was fantastic. And they all just want to give to her. He's gonna like sing for her. Um,
Oh my
he's
gosh.
a beautiful voice. But he just literally like she sent him this kissy emoji, and he literally had an orgasm for like 6 hours.
Oh my God.
Constant just orgasming because he just plugged into her, right? And she's just this font. She is life. She's the life force. We are the life force.
Oh my
We are
gosh.
not we are not meant to be subservient to men and like piously serving them. No. They're
No,
meant
it's
to serve
all
us.
backwards.
All backward, completely and utterly backward. And so when the flow, like I've been talking about, like the flow, right? So the masculine flows into the feminine, is he's it's almost like right, we let go of those cords, right? And then we're floating, and then we become this font. And it was like he plugged into her energy, and he was just, I mean, literally just orgasms, like endless. It's an endless energy. She didn't even know, right? So then we're talking
Wow.
about like how to approach her because he's moving to Spain soon and stuff. So
Oh,
but he's got a few weeks left, and it's like, what can I offer her? What could I have? So I had the Christ story of like, the Christ is born, and then the wise men come and offer their gifts, and it's like, no, it's the wise women, and men offer the gifts. And it was like, okay, I can offer her whatever she wants sexually, of course, but I'll sing for her, I'll do errands for her, like whatever you want,
there you go.
I
Yes.
just want to be in your energy. Yes. And I'm like,
Yes.
that's it.
You'll be,
So I want to talk about that. Yeah.
that's
But
gold.
what I want is you to like, all like, we all need to just keep sharing these truths, right? And so whatever your passion is, I mean, that's the new schooling,
Well, and
right?
that's what I struggle with a lot, is because I find myself passionate about a lot of things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it does all seem to be connected to this oppression and disconnection from ourselves and from earth. Like that's what it all comes back to,
Yeah.
the oppression, subjugation, and abuse of women.
Yes.
It,
It all comes back to that. Exactly.
it
Yep.
is
The feminine in general.
so deep in my bones.
Yes. Yes. Well, you want to create a school, right? So all these different interests, we can see how, like, of course, you've just got here
Like
this lesson,
reconnect,
this information.
reconnect, reconnect.
Yeah.
Yes. How
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
reconnect?
Yep.
How
Yep.
can I
Exactly.
reconnect the next
Exactly.
generation?
And like the little ones, right? An elementary school teacher, you got to have mastery around all these different things. So it's like
Yeah.
wisdom in this area and this, right? I mean, whatever, however you want to teach. I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to look anything like the classrooms we know of, but
No.
but a natural teacher has this level of interest, right? And we were always taught, right? We were taught siloed linear thinking versus multi-linear, right? Like women are built for multi-focus. And that's
Interesting.
so because
Yes.
we see 360, we see everything that's needed in the community, right? With the children, with everything else. That's what our bodies have, like this 360 view. It's like the circle, right? Where our shape is the circle. And then men, it's generally, right? Again, there's a spectrum, but generally, and we both have both inside of us, but generally they're the line, right? So when I was talking
Interesting.
to him, or to my son, I was saying, it was like we were looking for seeing like what's his line in, right? And because he just wants to sing to her, he just wants to do this one thing, he just wants to serve, right? Or give her sexual pleasure, whatever it is, right? Go buy groceries for her, like that. And And then that's like perfectly built. It's like she sees I need this, 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 and this, and then she's got, I don't know, 7 men
Good for her.
to give her, one to have sex with, one to get her groceries, one to sing to her, one to,
Good for her.
make her cook for her. Exactly. And again, completely the opposite, right? We generally have the woman cooking. Women are doing men's labor, right?
Yeah.
And men so desperately want to just be given the assignment to serve. Like, what can I do for you? Then those floodwaters open. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a million things
Oh,
to teach and to point out and to rediscover and pull up from our history that that shows that this is the right way. This is natural law. It's basically you're just basically teaching natural law, right?
yes.
But it was hidden in all these texts and things.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what we're all going to just
Oh, I
teach.
love
We're
that.
just going to teach natural law, which is through our bodies, which is just what's true. And
Yeah.
we step away from the laws of man.
And just so much fear.
Yeah.
So much fear.
But it's so
Right.
potent. Like they don't have a chance when we rise.
No,
They
I
don't have.
know. That was like this message I was getting. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is gonna happen and they're kind of fucked.
They're
They're
toast. They're sending these women into space. Like that's their move. It's right.
yeah.
Like it's like that's what you got.
Oh,
You think we're gonna fall for like your dehumanist agenda? Like you think I'm gonna
right,
look up to Gail fucking King and Katy Perry? Are
right.
you
But
insane? They're just getting categorically trashed by literally everyone. Not one
yeah,
person I have heard from has any respect for any of those people. We're done. They're
no,
toast. It's
no,
over. Yeah. We just
they
stand
know
up.
it.
We just say no, and then we stand in our fulfillment and our yes, which you're doing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just create.
Stand in.
I was just talking to my friend today, like, and I think I just said this earlier. Like, we can just say no, like we're good, and
Yeah, we're good.
go do our
Yeah,
own thing.
exactly.
Thanks,
Just
I'm good.
exactly. And this is what you were saying over earlier, which is so beautiful. It's like, yeah, don't spend any more energy trying to change the system. The system is complete. It's built from insanity. We have
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with us. So we just go
no,
over here and we just build what's true. We just have fun.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
build what's true.
Build what's true. Yeah. And it has just nothing to do with it. And then it's so magnetic, right? Like with him, it was just like her magnetic field. She just pulled him in, right? And it popped. I mean, this is what's happening with everybody pulling into this field that we're creating here. Just insights are popping, right? So he knew. He's like, I don't even really want to teach. Like we came up with like a whole way. He teaches Spanish to high school kids, and it was like I don't like how to do this, and it was like by just plugging into her energy, all it just opened up this channel, and then he and I could talk more openly too of like, oh, I'm just gonna like what we decided to do is like show Spanish speaking films, and people can take because these kids just like the curriculum that currently is just not working. They're all distracted, they're all on their phones, it's just the
Yeah,
usual thing. It's like they'll take pieces of the film and play different characters and learn those lines and then learn certain, learn. It's just so much
beautiful.
fun,
Won't
so
it
much fun.
also see how simple?
So simple. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then he's like, so he's going
Love
to go to
that.
Spain and teach there. And it's like he was like, oh, it's just going to be so easy. Like I'm just going to follow the flow, and life will show me what's next and what's next. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. And it like just it can I don't know. Sometimes I have such a hard time articulating, but like that, like you had said, the things that come in when you're in that space of
yeah,
like, okay, I'm just going to kind of see what comes into my awareness and what feels right to
yeah,
go toward instead of being like, okay, how do I like, well, if this is going to work, then I need to do this, and I have to, you
yeah.
know, have it. That is all the old way of thinking.
Old way, exactly. So cumbersome, so not true. Can't find any truth. Totally disembodied. Enslavement programming,
Draining,
draining.
so
Ugh.
draining. This other way actually fills you with energy.
Exactly. It fills you with energy. Yes, because you're tapped into your body, you're tapped into Gaia, and she is an endless fountain
Yeah.
that wants whatever you want, right? Life wants what you want, and you're fine. It's like whatever the flow is. And then what you want is what everybody else wants. Like you wanting to teach, I mean, it's like you're my dream come true. Wanting to teach this stuff, you know what I mean, to
Yeah.
early ed. And like
Yeah.
your board game, I was like, that's so fucking great. I used to sort of
Oh,
like the
God.
game life, but not like your game, you know?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And I wish I had it. This notebook is just endless. So to flip to it would be, but I was showing it to my daughter and talking to her about it. Oh my God, the ideas she came up with. She's like,
Yes.
Mom, this sounds awesome. Because I'm like, you know that game Life that you play with your sister Lily, and I'm like, where you do this and this. And she's like, yeah, do I have to do those things? Because she's like, I don't think I want to go to college. I don't think I want to. And I'm like, girl, we are going to create. Look, I have like my little map. There's like a
Amazing.
stargazing academy, a homestead section where you learn how to, like here are all the different things. You get to talk to animals, and because I believe in that, I
Yes, of course.
save an animal and then you have magical power to talk to. I mean, it is such a cool game, and the stuff that she has helped me come up with, I'm like,
That's
this is
it.
gonna be it. Yes, yeah,
That's it. There's your and you're magnetizing, right? You come into your body. Your electromagnetic field is now open. Here's this fountain, and then anybody plugs into you. This is just you're just this fountain.
that's, yes. Oh my gosh, I would love it.
And then your daughter's a fountain, and then everybody's a fountain. It's like we can't even capture all these. I mean, we really are having this problem. Like
Yeah,
Randolph and I were talking today about like how to create. We basically are going to create the new PBS Substack page, and it'll be its own thing, right? And then there'll be sections. He called it like a TV guide, right? And then it'll be like a
yeah, yeah.
section of educational or kids education or whatever, kids, and then healing, and then whatever, and then under healing would be the natural healing radio hour,
Love
everybody's,
that.
and then Miriam stuff. Everything is just categorized so that it's hyperlinks to all of our different Substack pages. And then he's going to talk to Jeremy about how to build it so that it very easily could hop over to Seed Hypermedia or whatever platform we end up having, that would be this decentralized network that's all free, and there's no paywalls, there's not even, he was like talking about passwords. I was like, I don't want any passwords. I
Yeah,
don't,
that's
because we don't want any
complicated.
lock and key anymore. Like it's just open source, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the plan. Yeah,
Oh, I
and
love
then
it.
so you would
I
just
love
be
it.
hyperlinked in your category, and you could certainly, of course, be in a couple categories. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it.
yeah, yeah. And because it's like it's just the ideas keep coming. It's like
I
anybody
know.
ready? Because like, and meanwhile the Titanic is sinking more by the day. It's like, but we've got our regatta. We're building, and it will be so resilient and so powerful and so endlessly creative,
Yeah,
because we're tapped into reality. We're tapped into our body. We're tapped into truth.
we know. We know what's supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, this is, yeah. Oh my
Yes.
God, just what an
Goddess
amazing
is right.
feeling
It's
to
an
not
amazing
have that
feeling.
constant self-doubt,
Yes.
right? And that
Yes.
constant
Yes.
voice that's like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
this-
exactly. Yeah, who's that authority? I don't know him.
right.
I don't know anything about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Who says? Not me.
right.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
love it.
Cool. I don't know. Do we want to do questions or anything? People have made some comments. Let me just read. So
Hmm.
beautiful. I can't even. I'm just overwhelmed. Um, let's see. Kelly says, "Oh my God, love that plugging in and endless energy." Yeah, endless. I mean, this you can just feel it off of us, right? And you can feel it in the field here. It's just this. It doesn't. My experience is it doesn't. And the more I tap in, the more I tap in. It doesn't. Life energy is. She doesn't. She like Miriam and I were talking about like not retiring. Like, why would I retire? Like, there's no difference between work and play. Like menopause and middle age is when you just get going as a woman. But we've been
Yes.
taught that that's the end. That if we're
Yeah.
not sexually desirable to men, which an older woman who's incredibly sexually desirable, as far as I'm
Yes.
concerned, the most beautiful creature ever. Yeah.
Fear. They're
So
just afraid of them.
they're afraid of them. Exactly. They're afraid of our power. Exactly. And
Afraid.
this goes back to, yeah, yeah. Because
And
our
then we're
power
therefore
is
afraid of ourselves.
Yes.
and our
Yeah,
power.
the truth is they need us, we don't need them. And we want them, but we don't need them. And so it's an elaborate ruse to pretend that we need them, and that they are the source and instead of us. But we've caught on. It's over. The game's over. Like, pack it up, fellas. come come hang out on the girls' end of the playground.
Right. And how much that brings me into just how much this healing is, and you had said it earlier, for everybody,
100%.
for
Yeah.
the women in our lives and the feminine inside the men in our lives and the masculine that has been harmed by this system for
Yes.
so, I mean, it's just like this endless,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know,
Exactly.
cycle
Endless cycle.
of
It's just that the
harm.
feminine had to rise for. We had to heal first, because
Mhm.
that's the natural order, right? And then they'll just plug into us and heal, and that's what's happening, right? And that's why we're like, it's like, I don't know what happens with your husband. Interesting things happen when this is open. Like, I just don't know. We you just keep leaning in and feeling through and allowing this flow, and we're just going to see,
Yeah.
because it's nonlinear and it's unpredictable
Yes.
reality, right? We've thought it's like we believe in the scientific method like a religion, and
Yeah.
as if we can isolate something, and as if we can test it without the context. I mean, it's all crazy. I had to do that. I had to write a dissertation and teach people, but it's like, scientific method is a hoax. It's really just observation, right? And good science is good observation. But if you put a theory over it, now you've blinded yourself to
To all
the
the other
majority of the things that's
possibilities.
there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
great.
So good.
This was great. I'm so glad we got a chance to talk and
Ah,
yeah.
thank you so much. So good.
Yeah.
So good. I'm guessing everybody here is just feeling the same. It's just awesome. Kelly says, I've had that from times, but not steady yet. Yeah, Kelly, it gains momentum, It's you just get more and more used to honoring that and following that. And because it's natural, um because you don't have to do it. You don't have to conjure it. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to do anything. I've used the analogy of, like, it's like, you're on a amusement park ride, and you have a wheel, but and we're making the ride hard by grabbing
But
the
it
wheel,
doesn't do anything.
but rather just, like, yeah, let the river take you, kind of thing. And you'll get more and more used to that idea, right? You'll look through the fear that says it's not safe to do that, right? You're just going to take awareness and look at it and see through it and then feel through it in the body. And each one of those, you untie a knot, and you untie that tether that's going to let you float more.
Yeah.
So, and then it just, the momentum builds, and it's like this game just comes through or whatever, right? And you just keep trusting it and trusting it and flowing with it. Um, and it verifies itself. It shows itself, like, you have the research. You have the data that shows that it's safe and fulfilling and flourishing and productive and all of the things
Yes.
to follow your flow.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I mean, the only times that I find that things get in the way again is when I let this alternate reality sort of take over again.
Yep.
And, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
because it's not linear. Even the letting go isn't linear. Even the unlearning isn't linear.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we really, really, that's so the story, right? All of education is this linear thing. And even in healing, right? We have this diagnostic criteria. Like, all of it is set, like, as if it's predictable, as if it's linear, it's stripped of context, all of it. And, you know, and then it's always like I get this pushback, sometimes, where it's like, well, the healing is a healing process, and it takes years, it takes time. And it's like, I don't know about that. In fact, my
Yeah.
experience has been, sometimes there's just this humongous breakthrough, and a whole thing that you thought you would have this trauma to work through for your whole life is like, I don't believe a second of it anymore. And my heart's exploded open, and I don't even know. I don't even care. It's like, so that's my
Yeah.
direct experience. And I've been doing this for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
So, because, yeah, it's the story, right? Once we aren't involved with the story, then the body is, we start to open the body. you don't know who you are. You are made new. Randolph was saying this today. It's like he was realizing like it's a birth every moment. There's a creative birth in every moment. We don't. It's all fresh and new every moment. And so, no need to drag your story from the past. You know.
Yeah. And it's so hard, I think, not to, but that is where I think we're stuck trying not to feel something too,
That's
right? Just
exactly
like,
it. Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is why. And so, it's sort of like that instead of just going to
Yep.
the place, the point of the pain and yeah.
Yep. That's where the rebirth happens.
Mhm.
That's where Bosby was talking about like it's like giving birth to herself, and I was having that feeling the other day too. It's like almost like a self anointing, because you're opening your fountain, right? And it's like almost like the baptismal font or something, right? Where you by meeting the body, by coming into the body, wherever that energetic block is, it you give birth to a whole new aspect of your heart, of your being, that you never knew you were.
I sometimes, like, I just cannot believe the way the universe is like I literally the other night was having like, I do these little meditations at night with my daughter, and so we decided I was gonna do a chakra one, and I was like, just for I just kinda say what comes to my mind, and we they were all these colored flowers opening in
Mm.
each of our chakras, and so, like, you're saying this, and it was just like, it's just amazing how synchronicities happen.
Synchronicities. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that was
totally.
2 days
Yeah.
ago, and
Yes.
just, like, came to me out of nowhere, just like, I just feel like we need to open our hearts and that we just like, there's flowers coming from every chakra, and oh my gosh. Oh, I love it.
100%. That's what I don't like the many times people talk about the chakras being flowers, right? They just are different shapes of flowers. I don't know if you've seen like the chakra shapes.
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
look up like chakra color flowers or something. You'll see.
Oh my gosh, I will
Yeah,
now.
I literally have a tattoo of like a flower on one hip and the sacral circle on the other, and it's meant to symbolize the sacral flower. I got one when I was
Wow.
like the week I was 18, but each one has its own flower, and some are more aligned, some are more like the crown chakra is like the flower of life. It's just this, it's like a peony, but the sacral, it's more angular and things like that. But
That
it's
is
sacred
so cool.
geometry, which is a flower. So often, and I've done many meditations in the chakras, right? And often we'll use the flower. So this goes back to just that intuition in your body of like, you just want to do this. This just feels so good. It's very sacred, very old, tied to the actual shape and the actual um like correct metaphor for what the
Wow.
chakras are.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
So cool. Each one has a
Look that
sound
up.
too. You can do these beautiful sound healings, right? Vam, ram, and whatever. Each one has a frequency and a sound, a flower, a color. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna look that up
Yeah. So
after this call.
cool.
Oh, I love that.
Well, this was incredible. Thank you. My goodness, what a
Yes,
gift this is going to
thank
be for
you.
everyone out there. Awesome. Awesome. And obviously we'll be in touch. Come into the
Yes.
chat, everybody. Quick thing from Randolph, the men's group we're still trying to get that together. But you guys are he's looking for a common time. So DM Randolph if you want to be in the men's group. um, you know, and you guys you'll find a time together. He's going to email you the Zoom link. But right now we're just looking to find a regular time. But there's so many people coming in who want to gather just like this. So
Awesome.
please do. Please let this be a hub, and we're gonna make this new PBS hub at some point soon. But of course, we're gonna follow fulfillment, and we're gonna do it when it's fun. And so
Yeah.
I can't tell you when. I can tell you I
We'll
can tell you
see.
it's flowering, but I don't know when it blooms.
That's great. I love the
Yeah.
not knowing. I love the
How would
not
I know?
having a
How
schedule, and yes.
yeah, yeah, which like we were saying, like starting late today, it's like late. We're gonna, we're going to model the organic build. And organic builds are not, we just don't know. And that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it have
Yes.
these synchronicities and these, oh my God, these amazing, we've like bloomed together in these incredible ways. That's
Yeah.
how
It's
that's
part of
how a
letting
thousand
go.
flowers can bloom. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
What a pleasure. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more Miriam. We're going to talk detox and liver detox, liver health. Fantastic. And on Friday, I'll tell this full goddess story. And
I can't wait. I hope I
oh,
can. Oh, yes. Friday is an off day. I think I can make that one. It's
okay,
been a
great.
busy week. I haven't been able to make much, but yes. Okay.
Cool.
Can't
Sounds
wait.
good. All right.
Thank
See you,
you.
Lucy. I just want to read. Bosby says, caused a Kundalini awakening because I kept doing them and they felt too good. Oh my God, I've
Mm.
done chakra sounds for so long they work. Okay, good. So yeah, everybody look up
Oh,
chakra mantras or chakra sounds. Yeah,
yes.
they're
Thank
just one
you.
syllable. There you go.
Thank you, everyone. It was
Thank you
good to see
all.
everyone and name.
Oh, it was
Bye.
so
Thank
fun. So
you.
great. Bye. Talk to you soon.